Welcome into Wyatt Zang's College Football Show, episode number 57. It is going to be a fun episode. We have a lot to dive into. SEC Media Days are wrapping up. We're towards the end of that, and we got a lot to dive into, as I said. At the time of filming this, SEC Media Days are wrapping up, and we got some head coaches to talk about. We're going to talk about head coaches that are under pressure in 2026. Which head coaches have to get it done this upcoming year for them to keep their job. We're going to be talking about that, plus team vibe checks. We're going to be starting this segment before the season. We're going to touch each fan base, not every fan base, but a couple fan bases about their vibe. What's the vibe heading into the season? Where are we, what are we looking at in the team, and how we think the team's going to do in 2026? We're also going to talk about Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida's quarterback battles, quarterback competitions, and we're going to pick a winner who we think is going to win those respective battles. We got all of that in today's show. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Starting off with the first segment I wanted to dive into, it was coaches under pressure. What are some coaches that are under pressure in 2026 that have to get it done to keep their job? Starting off with number 6. We got 6 coaches here. Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule is a number 6 for me because the pressure level for him is only a 6.5 out of 10. Not the most pressure on Matt Rhule. Like, there's not like a have to get it done or else you're fired. I think there's a little less on Matt Rhule than these other 5 guys. So I'm putting a 6.5 out of 10 on the pressure level for Matt Rhule. And like I said, Matt Rhule's at Nebraska. He's entering year 4 in Lincoln. We haven't really seen him do it and haven't seen him get to the expectation that we all thought he was going to meet. We all thought that by now Nebraska was going to be a top 25 team, be a Big Ten contender, not win it, but be a contender. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen that. We've seen, a bunch of average, below average seasons. We've seen Dylan Riola era go in and out. We now have Anthony Colandrea there. So there's all these different questions. I personally think that this is going to be a good year, but again, I think there's a little bit of pressure on Matt Rhule. Nebraska fans expect more than just bowl eligibility. They're expecting to be a contender. It's time to start competing for the 9-10 win mark at Nebraska. It's not just, hey, we're going to try to hit 6 or 7 wins. You're going to go for 9 or 10 wins at Nebraska. That's what Nebraska should be. We have to see some real results at Nebraska. We don't really see it yet. So what's at stake for me is a disappointing season wouldn't immediately fire him, but it would definitely put him on the hot seat. Like 6-6, 7-5, that would really call into question Matt Rhule's leadership at Nebraska, Matt Rhule's future at Nebraska. So we don't want 6-6. We don't want 7-5. We need 8 or more wins to be okay with Matt Rhule. If we can get to 9 wins, I'd be very happy. But we need a solid year from Matt Rhule. Number 5 is Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick at North Carolina. It's still weird to talk about him in college football, but that's where we're at. Him at North Carolina, the pressure rating for me is a 7 out of 10. A little higher than Matt Rhule. You could make an argument for it being higher, I just think because he's so new. But, the biggest coaching hire for North Carolina, I guess the most questioned coaching hire that we've seen in college football, the most higher where it's like this could really work out or this could really not work out. Like, we don't know. Turns out it's not really working out how we wanted it to. Every game will be under a microscope for North Carolina this year because of Bill Belichick, and we need to see some results is what I'm saying. We need to see some results at North Carolina because it's been a lot of stale. There's been a lot of questions around who's really leading the program, and that's not a thing I want to get into right now. But the expectations have kind of skyrocketed the moment he arrived at North Carolina, and they went from, hey, we're going to try to be an ACC contender to now, hey, we got to be a national team. We got to be a top 25 team. Expectations have gone up, but you're North Carolina. You're Bill Belichick. You're the greatest NFL coach of all time. Like, we should expect more from you. Now, again, we've seen Nick Saban go to the NFL, and that didn't work out. Maybe Bill Belichick in college is just not going to work out. We're going to find out this season. Nobody expects a national championship at North Carolina. No one really expects that. No one expects you to immediately win the ACC, But we expect, I don't know, 8 wins, 9 wins. So if we can get there, we're okay. But if we don't get there, there's going to be a lot of questions around Bill Belichick at North Carolina. Next coach, number 4, Shane Beamer at South Carolina. Shane Beamer is pressure level at an 8 out of 10. It's a lot higher than the other two I said. Because he's at South Carolina, a place where they've had a lot of talent. We've seen the Lenore Sellers last few years. We've seen him with Nick Harbor, with Dylan Stewart, all these top-tier athletes at South Carolina, which isn't known to be like South Carolina's not known to have a bunch of athletes, but we've seen the Spencer Rattler era. We've seen them go 9-3 and just miss out on the college football playoff. When we follow that up, though, with a 4-win season or whatever they had last year. So what I'm saying is, can we get back to being a contender? Can we get back to maybe pushing some teams in the SEC? Being the team on the calendar where you have to look at your schedule and plan around playing South Carolina. It's not a team you look at them and say, okay, when are we playing them? Where are we playing them? And then we'll just show up and beat them. You need to be the team where teams think about. Say, that's going to be a tough game. You need to be in the conversation when people look at Florida, LSU, maybe not LSU, but people look at Florida and say, Florida's not the best team, but they're still a team we cannot mess around with. That's how you need to look at South Carolina. South Carolina needs to be a team where you look at them and say, that's a 9-win team easy. So that's what we need from South Carolina. And the expectations continue to rise each year at South Carolina. And Shane Beamer has the ability. I know he's a good coach. I love Shane Beamer as a coach, and I would love for him to be at South Carolina for years to come. I really do think he's a great coach, but we haven't seen it. And when you haven't seen results, it's similar to Matt Rhule at Nebraska. When you haven't seen results, it's tough to keep you there, especially when you've been there for many, many years. Now, the recruiting, has improved, but the wins have to follow it. We have to see some results at South Carolina. They've shown flashes. We don't have any consistency. It's up and down, man. It is from 9 wins to 4 wins to 7 wins to 5 wins. It is no consistency. It's no consistency, and we need some consistency there. So what's at stake for me is similar to Matt Rhule at Nebraska. If you go 6-6, you go 7-5, the season would kind of frustrate fans, especially with Lenore Sellers and Nick Harbor and Dylan Stewart and all this talent that you have on your team. A 9-win season could completely change the conversation because you'd be a top 25 team, you'd be a top 20 team most likely. That would change the conversation if you can pull off 9 wins. All right, so that's Shane Beamer. Number 3 is Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. This was one that was pretty easy. The next 3 are pretty relatively easy to put on this list. Luke Fickell, Wisconsin, my pressure level is an 8.5 out of 10. It's higher, and it is it's for different reasons, I feel like. He went to Nebraska, and it's not a consistency thing. It's not like he's had some good years. He hasn't had any good years. Luke Fickell's entering another critical season after failing to meet expectations yet again. It's not a consistency thing. It's failing expectations every single year, year after year. We haven't had we haven't met expectations one time in Wisconsin under Luke Fickell. When he came to Wisconsin from Cincinnati, and he kind of changed the way they did things. He was like, okay, this is a run-first team. This is a run-first offense. He changed that. He changed it into more of an air raid, and I think that's part of the reason why Wisconsin isn't getting to the expectations that are set on the team and set on the program. He's not fulfilling them because of, I feel like to me, it feels like it's a change of change of the way you do things. This is something that Dabo is trying to avoid for different reasons. It's the portal, but it's the same thing. Dabo is at Clemson, and he's saying, I don't want to use the portal because I want to continue to do what is dominated at Clemson. Well, Luke Fickell looked at Wisconsin and said, we've always been a run-first program. We're going to make it an air raid program. Well, it didn't work out. So that's why you're on the list of coaches under pressure in 2026. That's why you're number 3 on the list, because it did not work out. It's not working. Wisconsin hired him to compete for Big Ten championships, and he is not even close. We're not even in the upper half of the Big Ten. We are at the lower half. So we got to improve there. If the rebuild has taken longer than expected, fans are starting to lose patience, that's for sure. Missing a bowl game or another mediocre season, and he's gone. No question about it. Number 2, Number 2 for me is Lincoln Riley at USC. This one, again, was relatively easy because you look at USC and there's a lot of underwhelming. There's a lot of question. My pressure level for him is a 9.5 out of 10. It is close. It is almost a 10 out of 10. It is up there. We are almost in the red. We are in the very dark orange, light red in terms of the pressure meter in Los Angeles. It is not good. Or in Southern Cal, not Los Angeles, in Southern Cal. It is not good. It's not good, and we need to see some results at USC. And when I say results, like he's gone 9-4, 9-3 last year, whatever. Like he had a good year last year, but not good enough. So for me, it's pretty simple with Lincoln Riley. Like it's very relatively simple. Make the playoff. Make the playoff and you save your job. Like he's hired to win national championships there, and he have failed to make a 12-team playoff. So that's what I'm saying. Just make the playoff. And if I was to put a success bar for Lincoln Riley, it would be, it's not a record thing. It's a success thing in terms of the playoff. Just make the playoff. If you make the playoff, we're fine. You're going to stay here for at least another year as the head coach. So make the playoff, Lincoln Riley. Make the playoff and you'll be fine. So, the fan base expects USC to be competing for conference titles for the playoff. He hasn't done any of that. So, can we get that in 2026? That'd be my biggest question for USC. Number 1 on the list. It was inevitable that it was coming. Everyone knew it was coming. No denying it. Number 1 is Mike Norvell at Florida State. This is a 10 out of 10 for me on the pressure level. Now, at ACC Media Days, Mike Norvell said that he wasn't coaching for his job. He said that he wasn't worried about his job and whether or not it was in jeopardy. That is all. I can sum that up for you right now. That means that's his way of saying that he's trying to sell it to recruits. That's all I'm going to say. He was trying to sell to recruits that he's fine. He's not going to get fired. And that's what you have to do. Like, he still has to recruit. Like, Florida State fans might look at that and say, well, no, he's definitely, playing or coaching for his job. Yes, I 100% agree. He's coaching for his job, but he has to say that or else he's not going to be able to recruit. If you get up to a podium and you say, I'm coaching for my job, this is poverty over here, you're not going to get any coaches to coach for you. You're not going to get any players in the portal, any players in recruiting. You're not going to get any of that. So he had to say that. Like, he literally had to say that. So that's my take on that whole thing. Coming off a disappointing 5-7 season last year, Florida State went from ACC championship, college ball playoff, should have made the 14 playoff, to missing a bowl game and 5-7 in just 1 year, and basically hasn't made a bowl game since. They went from ACC champion 13-0 to not making a bowl game the next 2 years. That's a problem. Expectations haven't changed for this program. Expect to compete nationally. That's the only change. Is Mike Norvell built this, and that's all credit to Mike Norvell. He built Florida State back up after Jimbo Fisher and the Willie Taggart era. He built them back up to being a national championship contender, and we got there. We had the nice 10-win season, and we had the 13-0 season, and then we went to 2 wins. So that's why he built that up. He built the expectation up, and when you don't meet your own expectation, you're gonna get fired. So an 8 or 9 win season would go a long way to restoring the confidence. But I think if you really want to stay and not be on the hot seat, you got to get 10 wins. You got to get 9 or 10 wins. 8 wins is teetering on the yes and no. 7 wins, no. 6 wins, no. And anything lower than 7 and lower, you're probably going to get fired, in my opinion. So if you can get 8 or higher, you might save yourself another year. So Mike Norvell is number 1 on the head coaches under the most pressure in 2026. Let me know in the comments if you agreed or disagreed with that below. So yeah, a lot of coaches are under pressure in 2026, and Mike Norvell is number 1 for me. Next, I wanted to hit some of these vibe checks. I love doing these vibe checks, by the way. These are very fun. I got like 4 teams that I'm going to do vibe checks on. It's going to be a shorter show, as I said. Like, there's just a lot of things going on right now in the month of July. Once August comes, hopefully we can get prepped for the season. Again, season previews Gonna do a few more of those, hit some more teams, and then we're doing the record prediction YouTube short, so make sure you're staying up to tune with that as well. So just a lot of things going on, but we're doing the shows. Like we didn't have a Thursday show just because I was super busy, but hey, we're here for Sunday's show. Vibe checks for 2026. We're gonna check on some of the teams in 2026. We've got 4 of them here. And kind of feel out the vibe. What's the vibe? Do I like the vibe? Do I not like the vibe? We'll start with Penn State. Penn State is a team. Again, a lot of these teams have newer coaches, so that's kind of why I'm checking their vibe. Penn State. What's the vibe at Penn State? Well, the vibe for me is... Here's why I like the vibe. I'm going to give you some reasons why I would like the vibe and why I'm hesitant. Here's why I would like the vibe. Matt Campbell feels like a home run hire for Penn State. Like a home run hire. He feels like the perfect guy, the scheme fit for Penn State. Rocco Becht is coming in at quarterback. He already knows the offense. He knows the system. It's his former head coach. So 2 reasons right there why I'm really high on this team. The transfer portal, they address some major needs. They feels like this program has some fresh energy. Like there's fresh energy around Penn State. And to go along with all of that, they have an easy schedule. So all of that is why I kind of like the vibe at Penn State. Now, why I would be hesitant to like the vibe at Penn State would be just number one, brand new coaching staff. Like brand new coaching staff. Like you're bringing in a whole new program basically. So you could be hesitant that it would all gel. You could be hesitant in, how Matt Campbell's going to do in year 1. Again, it's year 1. You can't throw national championship college ball playoff expectations on a guy that's in year 1 just because they have an easy schedule. So just be conscious about that. They also overhauled the roster. They overhauled the roster totally. This is a brand new roster. Now, I know you have a lot of Iowa State guys coming back and playing together, but you are mixing that with some recruits, some other portal guys, some Penn State guys that were staying. You're mixing that all together and hoping that it fits, hoping that it gels. So those are some reasons why I would be, maybe hesitant to totally love the vibe for Penn State. But there's things to like and there's things to not like with Florida State. So the biggest question is, can they contend and be a solid team in 2026? I think so. I think they're going to be a 9-win team. I think 9+ win team. I think they could get the 10-win team. So my vibe meter for me would be, maybe like a 4 out of 5, 4 star. We'll so say 4-star vibe for me with Penn State. My final take is I think Penn State's one of the biggest sleepers in college football, especially in the Big Ten. I think they're a team that could seriously contend for the playoff, but could also be like a 9-win team and be on the outside. Like they're one of those teams where I think they're going to be a really good, really solid team. I just don't know if their schedule, like if they lose 2-3 games on this schedule, I just don't know if they're going to get into the playoff. But if they don't make the playoff, don't be mad at Penn State. Like, do not be mad. Don't be like, oh, here we go again, not winning the big game. Like, it's Matt Campbell's first year. Like, I get it. A lot of Penn State fans would be like, oh, same old, same old. It's year 1. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. It's year 1. He will be good at Penn State with time. With time. So just be patient there. Next is Florida State. What's the vibe at Florida State? I'm going to give you a reason why I like the vibe, a reason why I don't like the vibe. And why I like the vibe is, number one, you got Deuce Robinson there, solid receiver. You got a solid offense. You got a good running back room. You got Wisner from Texas. You got Koroma, the guy that was already at Florida State. So you got some offensive weapons that I think could help you have a solid year. Your secondary has a chance to be one of the ACC's best. So, Charles Lester's there. I'm really high on him. I've always been high on him. The talent level is a lot better than I think, last year. That'd be my guess, is that their talent is going to be better overall than last year. That's what I'm hoping. To me, it looks like on paper. Again, this game is not played on, or this sport is not played on paper. It is played on the field, but on paper, this roster looks better in my opinion. So some reasons why I would be concerned is the segment we did just before this was coaches under pressure, and Mike Norvell's under a lot of pressure. That's why I would be concerned. Like the overall vibe of the program is a little concerning right now. So that's why I'm not buying into this vibe. I'm not vibing with Florida State right now. I would love to, and I would love to hop on the vibe train. Just right now, it's tough for me because, Mike Norvell's under pressure. The offensive line still isn't the greatest. Ashton Daniels is not the biggest home run quarterback in the world. So there's so many questions, and there's more questions than answers, more questions than, check marks. So for me, Florida State, I'm not loving the vibe. I'm not buying the vibe like I was buying the vibe for Penn State. So Florida State, not the best vibe, not buying the vibe, but there is hope. If you're a Florida State fan, comment down below if you are excited about this season or if you're nervous. If you're like me and you're just not quite buying into the vibe. So let me know down below. Next is Florida. Florida's another team I wanted to talk about. Why I like the vibe for Florida is Billy Napier's gone, John Summerall is in, and John Summerall is a dude. Like, he is a dude. He's a great coach. John Summerall is a phenomenal coach. This guy, when people say, oh, another G5 coach, another Billy Napier 2.0, it is not. Like, I'm telling you, it is so much different. You cannot look at John Summerall and look at Billy Napier and say, oh, that's the same guy. That's the same caliber coach. That's the same guy. It's not even close. It is. John Summerall is so different in a good way. It's not a bad way. He's so much better than Billy Napier. And that is no knock on Billy Napier. I just don't think Billy Napier was ready. I think John Summerall's ready. I don't think Billy Napier's ready. Billy Napier went to JMU. That's where he's at right now. That is perfect for him. Go develop at JMU. JMU's developed some great coaches. Kurt Signetti 2 years ago and Bob Chesney this past year. So Billy Napier and John Summerall are not the same coach. I can promise you that if you're a Florida fan and that's your concern, you should rest well at night because that is not a concern for me. That's not a concern for anyone around the Florida program. John Summerall does things differently, and that is in a good way. He is buying into Florida. He is just a gritty coach. He's awesome. He's an awesome coach. Also, quarterback position. I think there's a little bit of hope there. I think, actually, I'm not going to talk about who's going to win that job because we're going to talk about that later in the show. But for me, I would say the quarterback room looks solid. The offense looks good. The wide receiver room is sneaky underrated as well. Sneaky underrated. I'm loving the wide receiver room as well. Defense has some solid pieces as well. So I'm liking the vibe for Florida. Now, reasons I'd be hesitant is the schedule is brutal. Once again, tough schedule for Florida. The offensive line has to protect the quarterback, which I think they can. They have to be consistent this year. Like, they were very up and down the past few years. Like, they would pull off a win against Texas, and then they would lose to just some random team. I'm not going to use anyone as an example, but they would pull off a big win like Texas and finish the year 4-8. And you'd be like, well, how does that happen? How do you be a top 10 team in the country and then just finish 4-8? We need to see some consistency with Florida, is what I'm trying to say here. The reasons, my biggest question for Florida is Florida ready to become a legitimate SEC contender in year one under John Summerall? Because even if they hit 7 wins, don't just calm down. It's first year for John Summerall. So for me, my biggest question is, can Florida do it in year one? I'm definitely buying the vibe at Florida, that is for sure. I like where this program is headed. I like where John Summerall is taking it as the leader of the program, and I'm really excited about Florida in 2026. Let me know down below if you're a Florida fan. Let me know down below your vibe for Florida. I'm definitely buying into the Gators. Definitely buying into the Gators in 2026. Next up is LSU. LSU. Reasons I'm concerned for LSU is the expectations are always high in Baton Rouge. It's year one for Lane Kiffin. It's a brand new coaching staff. You're bringing in a new OC, a new head coach, new position coaches. There's a lot that is new there. You're also bringing in 40 new transfers. 40 new transfers. The question is, does that gel? Does that gel? Now, I had someone comment on one of my videos, on my LSU videos, on the teams I'm not buying. I did a segment on teams I'm not buying in 2026, and LSU was on there. I'm not saying that I specifically don't like LSU in 2026. Like, I like their vibe. I'm loving their vibe. The reason they were on there was because of questions, too many questions. New coaching staff, 40 new transfers. Like 40 new Do I think they're going to go 10-2, 10 wins? Yes, I think they're going to win 9 plus games. Absolutely. Just because I'm not buying them doesn't mean I'm not like insanely down on them. No, I'm just not as high as most people. So, but reasons there's hope is elite recruiting continues. The plenty of talent along the roster. So if they gel, you're looking at a college football playoff team. Offensive skill positions are really dangerous. LSU was always capable of making a playoff run. So I'm high on LSU, and I think they're going to be a really good team. Now, I'm not, like I said, there's reasons I'm not buying them, but I'm liking their vibe. I'm not buying them as a team, but I'm liking their vibe. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that'll make sense to you guys. So that's kind of my take on LSU. They're going to be a good team. I'm buying their vibe, but I'm just not buying into the team. But I like their vibe. So don't get me wrong, LSU has a good vibe in 2026. If you're an LSU fan, let me know down below. If you're liking the vibe of your Tigers, or if you're a little skeptical like me, just a little skeptical. You could be like, 40 new transfers, that's a lot. New quarterback, new offensive staff, new head coach. It's just a lot of new. So if that all gels, you're going to have a really good team. All right, next is quarterback battle projections. I got 3 teams I wanted to kind of talk about and preview. These are going to be some fun battles to talk about. We're just going to touch on real quick. Like I said, it's going to be a short show, about 30 to 40 minutes, somewhere in there. Quarterback battle projections. Starting off with Florida. Who do I think is going to win the Florida Gators quarterback competition? Tramel Jones versus Aaron Philo. Who do I think is going to come out on top, and who I think is going to win that job? Well, it feels like one of the closest quarterback battles in the country, in my opinion. But Aaron Philo has the college experience. Like transferring from Georgia Tech, Aaron Philo has more experience than Tramel Jones. But Tramel Jones has the higher upside with more of a dynamic dual threat skill set. The guy can whip a ball downfield and it's accurate too. So these two guys are really good. John Summerall doesn't have to rush a decision if neither separates themselves. He doesn't have to rush a decision. Like, you can wait till mid-August to make a decision. But I think as of right now, from my projection, I'm going to go with quarterback Tramel Jones. And I'll give you my reason why. My reason why is Tramel Jones has a higher ceiling. He has a better opportunity to break out. Like, I think we kind of know what Aaron Philo is going to be to an extent. Now, hear me out when I say that, to an extent. But I think Tramel Jones has the slight more upside. I think he's also younger, so you go with him, you give him more experience, which means next year he has the opportunity to just be better because he has the experience this year. So why I'm going with Tramel Jones is higher ceiling, more explosive. I think he's a better athlete. He gives Florida's offense kind of another set of legs that are another dangerous weapon. So not even just, he's not just a statue that is going to stand back there and throw the ball. And neither is Aaron Philo. I'm not saying Aaron Philo is just a statue either. I think he can run a little bit as well. But if Florida wants to compete in the SEC this year and years to come, I think Tramel Jones is your guy. So that's why I'd go with Tramel Jones. I think Tramel Jones wins the job before week 1, and I think he is the week 1 starter for the Florida Gators. If you're a Florida Gator fan, let me know down below if you think that's going to be how it goes, or if you think that's going to be way wrong and you think Aaron Philo will win. Next is Tennessee. George McIntyre versus Faison Brandon. Where it stands right now is Josh Heupel has called it an open competition heading into fall camp. George McIntyre has the advantage by spending a year in Josh Heupel's system. He's been there for a year. He knows the system. He knows the playbook. He's been around Josh Heupel longer. Faison Brandon has turned heads, though. Since arriving at Tennessee, he's turned heads, and he's got, generational talent, I guess you could say. He's got a lot of buzz throughout spring practice, and I think he's got a lot of talent. So I'm going to give my pick here in a second. It's Faison Brandon. I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. My pick is that Faison Brandon will win the job. Pete Nakos of On3 also projected that Faison Brandon will win the job. So, hey, if experts are saying that Faison Brandon's going to win the job, if I'm higher on Faison Brandon and experts are saying that, I'm going to take Faison Brandon. I think he just has the higher upside in terms of an athlete, so he can give you more of a dangerous weapon on offense. George McIntyre, I know he's good and he's a great athlete, and there's nothing away from George McIntyre. And if he wins that job, props to him, and I will be excited to see what he can do. But I think Faison Brandon being younger, number one, so he's going to get experience. So next year he'll be even better, more experienced. And two, like I said, I think he gives you more of that dual threat skill set. So I think Faison Brandon will win the job. I think he's simply too talented to keep off the field. I think he's just a great athlete. He's got elite arm talent. He's excellent mobility. Like, he can sling it over your head, or he can make the safeties drop back and he'll run it for 20-plus yards. He's a perfect fit for Josh Heupel's offense. You've seen what, Hendon Hooker did there. I think he could be a version of that. So overall, I'm a lot higher on Faison Brandon. I think he's going to win the job. So Faison Brandon will be the starter, in my opinion, before Week 1 kicks off. If you're a Tennessee fan, let me know down below if you think I got that right, or if you think George McIntyre will win the job. Next up is Alabama. Who's going to win Alabama's quarterback competition? Is it Keelan Russell or is it Austin Mack? Well, where it stands right now, one of the biggest quarterback battles in college football, that's for sure. Like, this is easily one of the biggest. Austin Mack has more experience in Kalen DeBoer's system. Like, he was at Washington with him. Now he's at Alabama. Been here for a few years with him. So he's got more experience. Keelan Russell is one of the more talented quarterbacks, though. So this is where you got talent versus experience. It's similar to Tennessee's battle. Do you go with the inexperienced route, but the more potential route, or do you go with the experienced route, but maybe less potential route? Me personally, I think Keelan Russell will win the job, so that's my pick. I think Keelan Russell is going to be the Week 1 starter. I think Keelan Russell's got a little more arm talent. I think he's got a little more, football IQ. I hate saying that, but I just think so. I just think a little bit more, and I think he's a faster player. So you have speed on top of arm talent, on top of football IQ. It gives Alabama the higher ceiling offensively. I think Keelan Russell gives this team a higher chance of being a national championship contender. We'll just call it how it is. Call a spade a spade. They could be a national championship contender under Keelan Russell. Do I think they're going to win it? Do I think they'll make the Final Four? No, but they'll have that potential, and I think Keelan Russell gives them that opportunity more than Austin Mack. So that's my prediction. Keelan Russell wins the job before the Week 1 game. And you know what? Week 1, go ahead and play both of them. Go ahead and test it out. Like, before you play Florida State, go ahead and toss them both in there. See who is the better quarterback. Give them both an opportunity to play. Test the waters a little bit. You could do it with all these quarterback battles that I'm mentioning. Like, test the waters a little bit. See who really deserves to win that job. So that's my take on the Alabama quarterback competition. If you agreed or disagreed, let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you are subscribed. If you're an Alabama fan, if you're a fan of any college football team, make sure you are subscribed. And I appreciate you guys for watching. That is not only the segment, but that is also the show. It was a shorter one. We're around that 35, 33-minute mark. Appreciate you guys for watching, as always. Make sure you guys have a great start to your week. See you guys back here Thursday. Have a great start to your week, and God bless.